Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you. Welcome to a new episode of Consider Islam.
Assalamu alaikum, peace be with you. Welcome to the Deen Show. We're very excited that you're joining us here tonight on the Deen Show. You got away from the late night football game. You got away from all the things that are out there distracting you from the most important questions in life. What's the purpose of life? Why am I here? Who created me? What's the correct way that I need to be upon to be successful in this life and in the hereafter? And this is a very, very important topic because many people are heading in a direction and it's the wrong direction. They're taking a man as God, saying that God had a son, and all other sorts of confusion is out there. But today we're going to clear the confusion about one of the most mightiest messengers that God ever sent to mankind, Jesus, peace be upon him. We have Dr. Laurence Brown here on the Deen Show. We cleared up the confusion about Jesus being the only begotten Son, but in today's episode, we're going to clear up the confusion about him being the Son of God. Assalamu alaikum, peace be with you, Dr. Laurence Brown. How are you?
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you for being on the Deen Show. Again, people can go to thedeenshow.com. You have your own private section there. They can read a little bit about you. You have a PhD in religion.
Mm-hmm.
You have a DD. You're a doctor by profession.
Mm-hmm.
And you love talking about these important issues. And when I started the show, I thanked everyone who's joining us because these are serious issues. So they took a time out from the basketball games, the football games. Maybe they took a time out from going to the nightclub just for this night, this show, because we got serious things to talk about. People are just getting fed up. It's a rat race out there. They want to know the purpose of life. They want to make sure they're going in the right direction if they're not. And this is a crucial topic because many people, they believe in God. It's inherent in their nature. But there's some confusion about Jesus. There's some confusion about Jesus. Now, in one show that people can see that we did, it's at thedeenshow.com, we cleared up the confusion. You gave the top 5 reasons, Dr. Brown's top 5 reasons why Jesus, peace be upon him, who we love dearly, he is not the begotten Son of God. Now, you have a few more that you're going to share for us. How many exactly?
Right. Well, on this episode, we're going to be talking about 8 top reasons.
8 top reasons
why Jesus Christ was not the Son of God.
We got to get right into it. Let's start with number 8, wasting no time.
Okay.
Take it away.
Last time we were talking about the tenet of Christian faith of Jesus Christ being considered the only begotten Son of God. We dispelled the only, we dispelled the begotten. Now we're just going to talk about the concept of Jesus Christ being considered the Son of God. Okay, so number 8, the reason why Jesus Christ was not the Son of God. Many Christians say Jesus Christ was the Son of God because Jesus called God Father. Jesus called God Father, so Jesus must be the Son of God. However, what do you call God? I mean, I bet that most people out there, when they pray to God, they say, oh, you know, our Father. And why do they say our Father? Because Jesus Christ instructed his followers. He said, when you pray, pray in this way. Our Father. He didn't say my Father, he said our Father.
Our Father, that's a key point.
And he instructed
here.
everybody to pray in this way. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, etc., etc., etc. The Lord's Prayer. So the point is that this is not an argument that holds water. You cannot use this argument to say Jesus Christ was the Son of God because he called God Father, because Jesus Christ told all of his followers to call God our Father. That's number 8.
That's number 8.
Moving on to number 7.
Moving on. Let's go to number 7.
Number 7. Some people say Jesus Christ might be the Son of God because other people identified Jesus Christ as the Son of God. First of all, this is not quite true. The passage or the words pais theo are translated to Son of God, but the primary meaning, the primary translation of pais theo is servant, servant of God. Okay, now, all right, don't trust me on this. Let's say that you even prefer to translate pais theo as Son of God. Look at it from a different angle. We find pais theo 8 times in the New Testament. 5 times reference Jesus, once in book of Matthew, 12:15, and 4 times in Acts, okay? But There are 3 times that we find pais theo that do not relate to Jesus at all. 2 of them relate to David, and once in Luke and once in Acts. 1 relates to Israel in Luke 1:54. So you can look all of these up, but the bottom line is that 5 times Jesus Christ is identified as pais theo, twice David is identified as pais theo, once Israel is identified as pais theo. If pais theo means son of God, that means you have to include not only Jesus, but you have to count David and Israel into the formula as well. All right? And since nobody does that, you have to throw the entire concept out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Moving on.
So now we got 8 of the top 8, why he's not the Son of God. And we're moving on. We went from 8, 7.
Let's hit 6 because it relates to just what I was talking about.
Take it away with number 6.
Okay? Pais theo means servant of God, but it's been translated to son of God. The other word that you find in the New Testament most commonly that is translated to son is spelled H-U-I-O-S, huios. This is translated metaphorically. When you see son of in the Bible, almost always it's huios, but almost always it is translated metaphorically, or the meaning is metaphorical. I'll give you an example. Matthew 17:25. The believers are identified as sons of the King. Sons of the King. Luke 19:9. God's elect are identified as sons of Abraham. Matthew 7:9. The believers are identified as God's sons. As what? God's sons. And those are the believers. Okay, so if the believers are God's sons, that means all believers are God's sons. Okay, now are you going to understand that literally or figuratively, metaphorically? I'll give you a hint. Students in Matthew 12:27, students are identified as sons of the Pharisees. In John 19:26, the favorite disciple is identified as Mary's son, even though he wasn't Mary's son. Okay? You go on to Matthew 8:12, you find sons of the kingdom. You go to Luke 10:6, we've got sons of peace. Luke 16:8, sons of light, sons of this world, sons of thunder. Does any of this sound real? I mean, does any of this sound literal? Sons of this world, sons of light, sons of thunder,
It's a lot
sons
of sons
of
out
peace,
there.
sons of kingdom, sons of God, sons of Abraham, sons of the believers, sons of... no, this is all metaphorical. And if we look at the scholars, leading to item number 5, if we look at the scholars tell us this has to be a metaphor. It can't be anything but a metaphor. Right? This is reason number 5.
So we're moving on to 5 now. This
Reason
is
number 5, why Jesus Christ is not the Son of God, is because scholars tell us it's not possible for this to be literal. It can only be metaphor. Why? Because if it was intended literally, in the time of Jesus Christ, it would have been considered blasphemy, and anybody who had said it, according to the laws of the Old Testament, would have been considered as disbeliever and would have been executed. So you have to either accept it as a metaphor, or if not as a metaphor, it would have been blasphemous, and those who proposed it would have been punished for blasphemy.
So we're going to stop at 5. We went from 8 to 5. So when we come back, we're going to do 4.
Sounds good to me.
We'll be right back with number 4, the top 8, Dr. Laurence Brown here on The Deen Show.
Stay tuned and we will be back after the short break.